Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting I'm bringing you today is called Quiet Cove. It's an 8x8, and I painted this a couple days ago. Today is March 30th. It's a Thursday here. Afternoon. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Really, I like this painting a lot, and it's very similar to one I did as a 3.5 by 3.5, using the same basic reference, but I've been playing around a bit with colorizing sepia tone photos and then manipulating those further, and I've really been enjoying the sorts of looks I've been getting, especially exploring pictorialist photography as reference for tonalist paintings. Maybe you don't know what pictorialism is. It was a movement in photography that was very painterly approach. Usually had a soft focus. Not to say things were out of focus, but they weren't as razor sharp as what we accept commonly as, photography now. Even camera photography, things will be way sharper. I would say an emphasis on lower contrast. There was contrast, but you wouldn't have extreme darks against extreme lights, things like that. Of course, in that time period, things were all there wasn't much color photography, but if they did do color, the whole thing might be blue, or it might be sepia, or it might be green. Or there were some very interesting experiments with like hand tinting things. I love that sort of thing, and then this is kind of where I've been drawing inspiration lately. So hopefully you enjoy this, watch me do this painting. So I'm working on this piece of hardboard. It's been prepped with 2 coats of transparent gesso. The color I'm doing my underpainting with is it's modified burn umber, basically with some perylene black, which is a greenish black, and in this case a little bit of crimson to compensate. I've been playing with that compensating color because I don't like it to go too green, but I definitely like to compensate for the red aspect of the burn umber in a lot of cases. Some cases it'd be fine. I could work with it too. I'm just playing, having fun. This pictorialist reference photo was very small, and just sepia colored. So I took a lot of liberties with manipulating it extensively. Like I say, I did a little bit of colorizing. I did a lot of work in Photoshop. I'm really keen on this, for the water. I like this light yellow, whitish color I've been playing with. I've been getting very into these sorts of coastal scenes as well, with the silhouettes of the basic landforms, and just not a total graphic sort of approach, but kind of an artistic approach. And again, you see this evidence in the pictorialist photography. There's emphasis on silhouette, and that'd be a good thing for us to talk about. I'm assuming you're an artist that wants to get better about with this painting thing. You might just be someone who likes watching paintings come together. I think that's groovy. That would be me too. And anyway, there's a concept that's in my book, which we'll have an ad for coming up, so stay tuned for that. It's called No Tan, and it's basically about the contrast between light and dark. A really blatant example of this would be like the old yin and yang symbol, with the very strong black against a very strong white, with the alternating dots in the middle. That would be No Tan simplified to a graphic extreme. But getting to my point, we in the West might refer to it as silhouette in a way. No Tan has more subtleties of meaning, but who minds? What we really want to do is not talk about what words mean. We want to make excellent paintings. So getting to my point, that everything you do should succeed at a silhouette sort of level, and then what goes on the inside is gravy. But if it works at a silhouette level, then you have something strong. You have a strong foundation. What I like kind of about these these particular landforms in this scene is that they're very close to just being silhouettes, and the time of day, of course, would be, you know, really late twilight or super early morning, something like that. Another thing about this painting is I really wanted to try not to have a super strong horizon. You'll see me fiddling with that quite a lot. Ultimately, I was pretty happy with it. I wanted it to be really vague, but what I was finding was even directions in the direction of my brush strokes was having sort of an impact. And so it's funny when you start really wanting to go subtle, how subtle factors become. I couldn't just have painted through straight into the water, or maybe I could get to that point. I was finding that for a long time I didn't even really like painting these sorts of scenes because I don't like horizons generally, but I'm over it now. I'm fine, and I do them all the time. The other challenging thing I think about with these sort of landforms and things is I tend to like to straighten them. In this case, you can see I have subtle angles, but oh, by the way, I should point out, you can see my reference image in the members area. It's $6 to join that, and that's the live painting session. That's the real deal. You're there with me in the throes of battle, so I would think one or two comments coming out as a painting's happening, although I don't think the whole thing's completely teachy all the way through. It could be, you know, a lot of people tend to have my members area videos on in the background as they're doing their own paintings, which is what you should be doing. Do your own paintings, and then you'll hear me say something, or you just kind of glance over at my progress on whatever piece I'm working on. And oh, hey, we got an ad for the book coming on up. And I thank you for your support. This book was a product of 2 years, started in the second lockdown. I didn't have enough wherewithal to think about the first. Yeah, you know, that first lockdown caught us all like a little off guard, but by then like it was dealing with the loss in business and stuff, and you know, thought I would put a book together and get some good teaching in there, you know. And I like to do me a bit of teaching, you know, but frankly, I'm a student too. We all are, you know. You're never going to have complete mastery, whatever level you are at. I think when you get further down the lane with the painting, though, actually, so much of my process is intuitive. I don't know if that's how it is for you, but I'll find ideas strike me when I'm not painting, like the painting I ended up not working on today, but I did a drawing for and didn't have time to get into the color portion. I was thinking, oh yeah, go with the whole thing with a fairly small brush was the solution that presented itself to me, because I was thinking, how am I going to pull this off? And this particular painting, the sky, I wanted it very soft and somewhat indistinct, but things take on a distinctness very easily. Also, again, you'll see in the members area there was a perfectly round and distinct sun obfuscated by mist. I don't like that. I really don't like painting that. It might be okay if it's a moon. I'll do it in studies, but on my own, almost never. I will almost always, like what I did here, I'll smear it out, and you know, it's your call as far as what you want to do. To me, it's almost like one of those, it can be pulled off by a professional, but it's the kind of thing that I don't want to say the you know, amateurs or whatever, but painters starting out, you know, that's the kind of thing they think is a good idea. But the problem with that circle, like being all hard and hard-edged, yeah, okay, that's how it really looks, but is that serving the painting? And that's really what you need to ask yourself about absolutely every aspect of your painting, especially if you're pursuing mastery, because mastery is going to be the cumulative effect of so many things, you know, the big things like composition down to the small things like direction of brush stroke and subtlety of color modulation, right? And the color palette. I mean, like here I set up this like purple into yellowy greeny thing, and there's a bit of green humming through. Even in the sky, you have to be careful with green tones in the sky, in my view. In the ocean and water, it's obviously not a problem. And then in this painting too, the I could have got real choppy with that water, but I wanted a little chop in some areas. But mostly I wanted this kind of quiet serenity, almost like the the photography where they have a long exposure, and so things like the clouds are blurred or the waves are all blurred and soft, or waterfalls. That's so popular to do that effect with waterfalls. This has a bit of a hint of that, a quiet feeling and groovy colors and a groovy feeling. And it owes a lot, obviously, to the original photo. Hey, there's Alfie. Alfie's my little puppy. And there's Jerry. Jerry's my bigger puppy. Yay, they're with me in the studio just about every afternoon. And again, members area, you'll hear my interplay. Hopefully nice, because sometimes I have to yell at them because I get very excited. Anyway, so you could see that all the dark shapes we're seeing right now is straight up underpainting. So one groovy thing about underpainting in an instance like this painting is that it's nearly done when I put in the sky and water. So it doesn't take that long to just kind of move some things into that underpainting tone, which was dark enough. One of the first things I'm going to do is just work in some it's a bit of black with some burn umber in it. I'm not actually going with the perylene in this case, because although I am utilizing some of the green aspects of the perylene to counter the burnt umber, I don't necessarily want a green hum through everything. So the ivory black on its own has a cool feeling, but not a green feeling. I don't think it does. Not even that bluish. It's quite neutral in its own right. It's cool. It's not, as far as, it's not neutral temperature wise, but color wise, yeah, it's bluish, but not super bluish. And certainly wouldn't have as much chroma as this perylene black. Well, when you start thinning that out, you see how green it really is, and a lot of manufacturers sell it as perylene green. Very fascinating color, by the way. We did a little study not that long ago based on it. So I will say in this painting it becomes a factor. You see that middle area of waves and water just on the other side of these two, where these 2 points are sort of almost meeting. That's featuring perylene, and it's a beautiful color for ocean type tones. It has like almost a phthalo-ish quality, but really muted and really subtle and beautiful. Yeah, and it was actually one of the members in the membership area who sent me that tube of paint, and thank you so much. And thank you guys, all of you, for your support. Whether you're just come around to watch and leave comments, or you've bought my book, bought my painting, I really appreciate it. And I really enjoy sharing my work, and we make a little bit off of it, but funny enough, here we're at the end, so most people that are going to bail have bailed already. Was watching a video how to have a successful YouTube channel, and when things you can't do is like be all into like subscriber numbers and view numbers. I don't even look at my view numbers anymore, because sometimes I think something's really great and people don't seem to care. And other times I do something I think is just mediocre and people seem to love it. So, who knows what affects this. It's not too good to be concerned about things you really can't control that much, and that would be the case with that. But all I love to do is just share my work, and it's a bit like I don't get into personal. In fact, the early days of the channel, you'll hear about how things went in the studio, and you'll see comments like, "No, talk about the painting, man." Da, 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 da. So I try and strike a balance. I don't really get too much into what happened in the studio today, especially back then. A lot of times I wouldn't record the video until I had a really high quality photo. Now our big innovation is just going with the video level photo. And that's been working out good. So I'm real happy with this painting. It'll be for sale in my store. It's going to be a good price too. I'm thinking like $249. Okay, that's pretty beautiful, and look great in a nice frame. I hope someone picks it up. Well, someone will eventually, I know that, but pick it up today. Go ahead. Meanwhile, thanks for watching the video. Sorry if it's a little rambly, but I was going to get way more philosophical. I just have that sort of bent today. That's just how it is. But I appreciate you coming around, and hopefully you're like me and just enjoy watching paintings come together. I mean, I was told people you can just put some music on and mute me. You don't have to listen to me. And anyway, until I come back with another video for your edification and enjoyment, hopefully for your edification and enjoyment, do me a favor, do me a solid, take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family.